Fall is in the air, and that means there's tons of new things at Fort Dove.
Real Country 550 and 92.9 WAME and W225BD Statesville.
Welcome to Racing Roots with Hamm.
If you don't know our host, David Hamm, he's a 25-year NASCAR veteran, engine builder, and jackman.
Live every Monday evening, we have a new guest
From the racing world with their stories, their paths,
Their
racing
racing
roots.
sponsored by Jersey Cape Yachts.
Now here's our host, David Hamm.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Racing Roots with Hamm right here on 550 AM, 92.9 FM, and DHammiam on YouTube. We're also streaming live on Facebook and Twitch and LinkedIn and all those. I think I'm going to cut back over to the YouTube page in about 20 minutes when we go into a commercial break. But if y'all didn't see the video I posted earlier on my DHammiam, and actually it was on the Racing Roots with Hamm page, and it was the infamous fence climber is what I like to call him, Dickie Dennis. And if you've listened to my show in the past, you've heard that familiar voice from call-ins and such, but you probably don't even recognize his face because he stays incognito. You got like 4 or 5 Facebook pages and such because you're always getting thrown in jail, Facebook jail that is. Not
Facebook
since
jail.
Yeah,
Facebook jail.
and not the real jail, not since another episode, which we'll get into later.
Well, good evening, everybody.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
You
hear
Dickie
me
Dennis. Yeah. Loud and clear, man. You got a voice for radio and a
Good
face
deal.
for radio.
Thank
No,
you.
I'm just kidding.
Thank you.
That's an age-old joke right there. And then we also
Turn
have
back at you.
Danny, right? You go by Danny?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you go by whatever people call you. You have aliases as well. What's up with that?
Stage
Anyway.
names.
Yes.
Stage names. That's good.
All right, we got my wife Traci in here as well.
Yes,
And,
I don't know which camera I'm looking at.
And
but hey,
photo Phil Cavali is over here to the left.
Wow.
Bingo.
And,
Yes. Good evening.
So there he is.
he's got his own camera.
And I guess we were all at Martinsville. Got Jana over here,
Yep.
Trevison, and
All
Scott
minus
Trevison.
me.
The beer man's in the house.
Tracy was
Yeah.
working.
Last but not least, oh yeah, Tracy wasn't there. The camera is actually is facing this way right at the moment. So let me do a little switcheroo so we can see. There,
Switcheroo?
that's better.
There you go.
That's easier because on Facebook I only have this one camera right here. so-
Tracy, were you in Martinsville?
I was working, so no, I was not there.
Oh, you had to stay grounded. You're the breadwinner at the house now, huh?
That's it. Somebody had to pay for my trip.
Good job.
Yes. Thank you for that, Tracy.
Of
Great
course.
race weekend, too, huh?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it was.
Great race weekend.
What a race.
Excellent. Well, when it comes down to those 3 series being cut off going into the championship next week, that's why I came Saturday. I knew it was going to be. Several people looked at me like, "Why are you here?" I'm like, because I'm a fan too, and it's
Sorry,
going to be
Mr.
exciting. And look at the truck race, 3 wide at the finish, and that last 30 laps of the Xfinity race took about 3 hours, and yeah.
So that was the first time I went to a race that I wasn't working. I say the first time. It's been the first time in many, many years.
We went
Yeah.
to Bristol, but we were in the
Oh, yeah.
man cave.
Right. So, and that's been how many years ago?
Probably about 6 years ago.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah. Dickie, when's the last race you went to?
Martinsville.
Yesterday.
Well, actually,
Before
no,
that.
no. I went to the last Richmond race. I was not at the track, but I was
Oh,
on the
In
perimeter,
the parking
I
lot.
was-
somewhere out there, huh?
I was
Private
not on their
camping area.
property.
okay.
I was
So you
not on the property.
can talk about that.
Sure.
Okay, good. Yeah. No laws broken here.
Yeah.
But you did get an official letter from Richmond, but that's
You got it framed, don't you, Dickie?
Yeah, I do that.
not many people have
Framed
one
in the
of those.
bathroom?
While all the court proceedings were going on, Dennis, the CEO, I guess, Richmond International Raceway came up to me as I was sitting there in the courtroom and presented me with a letter that told me I was no longer welcome as a guest at the Richmond International Raceway, and I just thought it was cool memorabilia. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did you look at the sheriff?
Expensive memorabilia.
You could have looked at the sheriff,
Frame and
Dickie.
hung it
Dickie, tell everybody that doesn't really know, that might be watching for the first time, what the story was, and go through your day of that day at Richmond, okay? Because that's a legendary day, and no matter who you are in NASCAR, any personality from the hot dog vendor right on up to, well, you know, the NASCAR folks. There you go. He's got his Martinsville.
He's got his weenie on.
But explain to him who you are, because when you're in that NASCAR and you say, hey, man, I got this good friend, his name's Dickie Dennis, and they go, who? I go, the infamous fence climber, and everybody knows.
Everybody
The
has.
fence climber.
Defense.
All right, so yes, let's
start from the beginning.
Let's start with your story, that story right there, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff that we talked about earlier that I would like to get
Right
from
on.
you. Yeah.
What happened was a buddy of mine was getting married, and we were going to have a bachelor party, reception type thing, and some things fell through, and I ended up with a ticket to go be at that party at the race.
2014, right?
Yes, sir, in 2014, and we hung out, tailgated like all the other everybody's was doing, and maybe had 3 or 4 beers or whatever. Wasn't drinking a lot. I wanted to remember the race, you know, and they're enjoying the race, and there was a belligerent fan sitting behind me, ragging on the shirt that I was wearing. My favorite driver, you know, Kevin Harvick. I go way back to the Davey Allison days, but at that time it was Kevin Harvick, and he messed around, spilt the beer on my shirt, and it was looking like there was going to be a altercation, and I wanted to avoid that. And I told him that probably the safest place for him right then was if I was sitting on the catch fence. And he just spun on me and told me that I didn't have the
Kahunas.
testicular fortitude.
Aha.
I got to be nice.
Yes.
But and I got to prove it. You know, don't double dog dare nobody. Don't call nobody chicken. And it was the testicular fortitude that came out in me that
Mixed with Budweiser.
Watch this. You know, Miller Genuine Draft at that time.
Okay, there you go. I knew there was a proper
and,
plug.
That'll make you do crazy things right there.
Absolutely.
I've never heard that part of the story.
And so I went down there, and as I was running down the bleachers from seat to seat, you know, not where the walkway was, I was stepping on seats. I got down pretty quick. The 2 Henrico police officers had just did an about face, and were walking away from each other, and there's this big open gap and a little yellow ski rope. Lifted up on the fence to the top, and there it was.
There
Tell
you
everybody,
were.
tell
Done
everybody
deal.
what your intentions were once you got up there, Dickie.
Well, I had planned on, because Kevin and Brad were battling really hard right then at that time, and I figured right there from that angle, if I took my camera and held it correctly, I could get the ultimate selfie. And I forgot my camera, and if you see the video when I go like this, that's when I realized I had forgotten my camera. And
Yep.
the caution light came on, and then the police officer, she motioned for me to come down, and I just came on down on my own.
Yep.
Nobody had to drag me
I showed you
down.
the video I put together, and it looks like you're in fast motion coming down, but I sped it up just to get through because you were up there for a while. It probably seemed like forever for you.
It's a little while. The car is going underneath of me. The wind, jet stream.
Yeah. How'd that feel?
Almost took this off of my head a couple. In fact, it loosened it, and I had to grab it. One of the television reporters from my area, she said on the news that it looked like I was trying to throw something on the track, and
Oh, yeah. So that's why I see
everybody's
you.
got
Yeah.
their story about it, David. Everybody's got their own story about it. There was a part that Mr. Hamlin put in his 2 cents about it on that radioactive video that NASCAR posted about
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Where there was keep forgetting that announcer's name that didn't like it at
That
all.
was Alan Bestwick.
Yeah, he didn't like it either.
Yeah.
But Denny made a statement. He said that if NASCAR would if I wanted to play in traffic, that NASCAR should let me.
Oh.
I'd
ooh.
still like to clear that up with him.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put that out there. I'd still like to clear that up and what he meant by it.
So if Alan Bestwick's listening, we're down here in downtown Statesville.
Yeah, and if you got to see Denny right now, you'd have some dirt on him too. You could say, hey,
Yeah, I do.
you know,
I
about
found
yesterday.
out something about him yesterday too.
There's lots of stuff. Yeah, but anyway.
Lots of stuff.
Oh, well, you feel free to talk.
It's only short track racing, Denny.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that how everybody's saying it right now? Denny said it's only short track racing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that was pretty exciting yesterday. We were actually up on the top of the sky deck is what it's called. Yeah. So I was across from you and I was trying to get a good picture of you up there, but did you stay in your seats?
No.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I got up there and it got really crowded, man. The fan turnout for Martinsville was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There was loads of people everywhere, and everybody was having a great time. You know, no fights, no drama. I didn't see anybody have any bad words to say about anybody. I did get to see Denny up close and personal smack the wall.
Yeah, that was a happy moment. Wasn't it?
When you come out of turn 2, that long back stretch, right in as they turned into 3, I was right there.
Okay.
Standing right there outside. I probably could have flicked a cigarette on the windshield.
Yeah. I got that on my
close.
camera, so I could probably see you there. I actually got the water bottle being tossed over the fence. I didn't get who threw it. No, that was over near the start finish line. But I took 50 shots of that. I took 50 stills of it. So I'm going to put together like a slow motion video. I mean, I could just do it the other way too, but I'm going to try to do it in like a time lapse kind of thing. Yeah. But it's the water bottle coming. It hit perfectly right in the middle of his windshield, like where he. Right, it would have hit him in the face if it would have been
Denny's car.
Hey,
yeah.
Dickie,
and then
do you think that maybe he hit the wall because he looked up and saw you and he's like, that guy again?
Maybe.
That would be pretty nice to know that's why it happened.
He definitely had help.
Yeah. You know, it could be because they were talking about Dickie on the radio or Sirius XM probably this morning. Because Anisha sent me a text and said she said that the who was it that was was asking about what was in your going through your veins, coursing through your veins. Yeah, it was Bagman. Yeah. Coursing through your veins at that moment. It was the kind of the question. Now I don't know if he means, you know, like
when I was on the fence or when Denny hit the wall.
How much blood was in your alcohol stream?
On the fence.
Oh no, it was opposite.
That.
There wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah, I think it means what was going through your mind, kind of thing. Like, but you already said it. You were actually kind of. It's almost like you were dared to do something. And you just said, you know what? I'm a former Army.
It was one of those man or mouse moments.
Yeah, right. Okay.
You know, like put up or shut up. Mm-hmm. You know,
and you put up.
There it was, bro.
And so, where is this dude that was behind you that spilled the beer on you?
No idea.
He's gone.
No idea.
Well, he's not on the radio right now, and he's not on DHammiam on YouTube or any of this, right? Talking about it.
This show, I got to say it. I've said it several times, and I mean it. This show has gotten me caught up. I was deprived of my NASCAR, my sport. I love NASCAR motorsports, you know, monster truck, NHRA, Motorhead, you know, and catching up with everything I missed while I was in the service is what Racing Roots has done for me.
Good.
You know, and I do appreciate this show a lot. I've been trying to catch up best I can because it's, you know, you don't fall into a sport and you don't know about it. You know, go in there and start pulling for Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you don't even know who the quarter is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Racing, you got to know about it, and if you're going to speak about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it helps to know the history and
Amen
and all that good stuff.
And you live in Northern Virginia, right?
Pretty close. I live 30 miles south of Richmond, right where the Appomattox River dumps into the James River.
How did you find him on Facebook or social media? How'd you do that?
The Lord puts people together for a reason.
It was probably David was probably out hunting in the woods for artifacts.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably what it was. Because I mean, you know, Dickie's into the artifacts and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
And so he was probably watching some of my, you know, I have airhead hunting videos and such. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, which I started a new channel for that. But
how we meet?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we just had somebody connected us. It was like somebody that was on radio
because we have to the morning show.
Yeah,
with you and Billy Buck.
Yeah,
right.
And for a very long time, man, it was how I did my morning every morning: coffee and Billy Buck with a side of ham.
Yeah,
you know, and when that stopped, it kind of put a damper on things for my mornings, and I had to. But that's how we met.
Yeah.
A friend of mine told me you ought to check out this, you know, Statesville, North Carolina, classic country radio station, and I tuned it in, and
That's what happened with me too.
I
My
was there for a
friend,
while.
yeah, a friend of mine when I moved to Statesville, he said, "Man, you got to check out this radio station over there. They play your kind of country, what you love." So, and then I ended up listening, and then I ended up being more involved in it, you know. So, but anyway,
It's a great morning show. It's a really great morning show. It's kind of dark outside. You know, I wouldn't mind going up and looking at the sunset from the clock tower.
Yeah.
That's all I've heard about since y'all got in this building was the clock tower.
I'll tell you what.
Climb the clock tower before you leave Statesville.
Let's go get up on the clock tower.
Commercial
before I leave.
break.
All right, yeah, commercial break. If you can make it back in within a couple of minutes, I'll tell you how to get up there.
Go up there and get a picture of the sunset would be cool.
Oh yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? I think we're past that now because it's already.
Sun has set.
Yeah, but what I was going to tell everybody that's watching on Facebook, eventually I'm going to switch it over to my DHammiam on YouTube, but I'll put the link on there so that you all can see it at the bottom of the feed in the comment section, and just click right on over there. But you may have to log in if you want to make comments. But if you have any questions, make sure you put a big Q right in front of the question. That way, Tracy will see the question, and then you will do it. So, do you have any comments, anything you'd like to mention? We got Steve Baker tuned in.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
He's a fellow veteran that lives up in Northern Virginia, kind of close to Charlottesville area.
Okay.
Up there, UVA area.
Yeah. He's come down before. We went to the Madhouse one night. He went with us.
Really?
Yeah.
How was
He met
that?
me in front of the studio down here at 113.
Excuse me.
113 North Center, and he went with me, and it was good. It's a madhouse, basically. You know.
He's good people.
Lots of fighting and some racing. Yeah, he had a good time. He was a good guy. And Medisha actually did put that comment on here. She said Bagman wants to know, and it was what was coursing through your veins at the time. So that was the question. Yes.
Some pretty good corn liquor, I reckon. You know, that's Martinsville, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe so.
We're talking about Richmond, though, right?
Yeah.
And what was happening at Richmond?
Still Virginia, baby. Right?
West Virginia.
Yeah.
All right. And Random Epic, which is Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah, so he sent you a friend request of me one. So he's tuned in as well. Sissy Odell here in Statesville.
Hey, Sissy.
And so, yeah, I invited
Her
them
and
to
I
come
talk
on
back
down.
and forth every once in a while.
Yeah, good deal. I invited them, anybody that wanted to come in, y'all just come on in and see us and meet Dickie Dennis here, 101 South Center Street. And so, let's see.
If you got a fence post or something, or a bunch of fence you want to sign, bring it out of town. Have a picture taken with it.
I should have put, I might be able to add that video to the end of this feed whenever y'all go off of, whenever we're done with the show, that you can watch the video that I posted today. I don't know. I have to upload it and all that too, so maybe not. But that was Jim Dooley's tuned in there from Virginia as well.
Hey, Jim. Jim is the reason that I got to go to Martinsville yesterday.
Yeah, that's
If it
right.
wasn't for Jim
the
Dooley
weekend.
and my buddy Danny here, they made that. That was supposed to be a birthday present to myself, the tickets for Martinsville, and I didn't get to do that.
But we've been talking about it for weeks, you know, on the show, and you showed up. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he
Made it happen anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, that was a good weekend.
So we were standing there, and I had texted Kyle. He come over and was hanging out with, because Presley Barker was playing, and Scott had texted him the day before, and then so we were standing there, and I was like, and I called you, and then Kyle was like something, I don't remember what he was asking in the background, because he was listening to you, and I said, hey, that's the fence climber from 2014 in Richmond. He said, oh yeah, I remember that guy. And so, but
Kyle Petty,
but
you're
then,
Yes, sir. Copy.
yeah,
KP.
yeah.
The NASCAR drivers
But,
all know you. Everybody that comes in here
everybody.
knows you. Even the 20-year-olds know who you are.
But then, but then the guys, DJ and then Marty and them stopped at the golf cart and picking him up. So he had to jet right then after he got a picture with Presley.
Right.
And so then you come walking
Then
up
we
a few
come
minutes
walking
later.
up. He had to have went right by us
Like
as
that,
we walked
yeah.
up.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's the way it goes. All right, we're gonna take a
That's the way it
The way the
goes.
cookie crumbles.
yeah. We're gonna take a quick break and thank the sponsors, of course, here with WAME, and we'll be right back to Dickie Dennis, the infamous fence climber from Richmond, 2014, on Racing Roots with Hamm.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts, Christmas at your fingertips.
care.
550 and 92.9. Real Country. WAME.
All right, we're back to Racing Roots with Hamm, right here on DHammiam on YouTube. And as you heard, 550 AM, 92.9 FM. We got Dickie Dennis, the infamous fence climber from Richmond, which is the raceway up there in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, of course. And in 2014, he decided to do something that he went higher than any other fence climber ever in history, I believe.
Amen. Yes, sir.
There was another guy last year.
Made it to the top. Ain't nobody made it to the top.
Yeah, that's it. And the guards didn't even know how to get to you because you were so high up.
I don't want to say nothing bad about, security or, law officers, because they're all great people and everything, but they wear shoes that were like low quarters, slick on the bottom, and they weren't coming up there. And a lot of them probably didn't jump out of helicopters and things. Well, I never did jump, David.
Well, I know you
repelling.
But I mean, hey, I wouldn't. All right, you can tell us your whole military story if you'd like, part of it.
At 18 years old, I was going nowhere. I was in ninth grade and not liking school, and decided I needed some discipline in my life and volunteered to join the United States Army, and was immediately sent from Hopewell and all my friends and buddies and everything, and went to Fort Benning, Georgia, Harmony Church, which is a bunch of old World War II barracks, not all the new standard modern things guys have with air conditioning and wall-to-wall carpet and things they have nowadays. It was a lot rougher in 1980. And at 18, I was ready for this already. Growed up playing in the woods. My dad had me shooting guns all the time. We hunt, we fish, and I grew up in the woods, and I loved it, and what worked for me was infantry. And infantry's the guys that run around in the woods looking for the people that are causing the problem. They're the bullet blockers and the ground pounders, bush beaters. They got lots of names, just a bunch of pukes or grunts. There's lots of nicknames for us. We did mean stuff and we did crazy stuff, and it pans out in the evening when you know that who you can trust and put your back up against. And there were some things that went wrong with that changed my military career.
Okay, well, that's okay. And
that's the part that sets me back a little bit. And I got past that and had to go do some disciplinary incarceration from the military, and made all my wrongs right, and did not want to give up on the United States military, but Mr. Clinton kind of ruined that. So I went a different route and got myself involved with the North Carolina Army National Guard, Old Hickory unit, and that's that patch I showed you today.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And we worked hurricane relief, and there's one big one. I think I want to call it Hugo. I can't remember. There's so much we did,
Hugo
David.
Was 89.
I did so many deployments, but there was one that kind of got to me down there. We went down there, and the caskets, not the coffin, the whole casket the coffin is in, from the flooding of the Nash River, they were popping out of the ground, David. And they were utilizing the Army National Guard and other branches and stuff to go in there and round up people's livestock. There was pigs and stuff running wild all over the place. And the Army National Guard does hurricane relief. They do riot control and lots of endless training you got to go through just to be able to do your job. All right. The training don't go away.
So you worked on a lot of heavy equipment too, right?
I did with my father coming up, and he was a cat technician, and I was not much of a mechanic, so to speak. There's an old joke out there is you never really went through anything in your life until you had to hold the flashlight for your dad while he's working on an engine.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
There it is. Well, when I got in the got into the National Guard. They put me with a Bradley unit. It was a light infantry unit, and you load up 13 soldiers in the back of a Bradley and go into combat, right? My job was, if they tore up that Bradley, I drove, commanded, piloted M88. All right, it's a recovery vehicle for up to the Abrams. It's about the biggest thing it can pull. And, you know, if it's tore up, you go out there and hook to it and drag it away, or if you can repair it on the spot, you repair it on the spot. And that's actually the last thing I was doing when my separation contract come up, my ETS date come up. I was a Bradley technician. It was all drivetrain. I had nothing to do with the turret. The turret's all computerized. Yeah, I don't know if we're allowed to say that. Yeah. But yeah, I just did drivetrain.
Okay.
And the heavy equipment, and kind of led me into that because my dad taught me about hydraulics and final drive systems and road wheels and track tension, lots of stuff I've forgotten, but it played into that.
Okay. What got you into the helicopter part?
That's when I first went in after basic training.
Gotcha.
My brother was stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and I was already plotting when I went in. You know, I don't want to live in the barracks. My brother's living off post, so when I get to my first permanent duty station, I don't want to live on post. I don't want the inspections every morning. I'm going to live off post with my brother.
Right.
So there was just the whole nother story behind that.
You decided to go for a walk, I guess.
And the 101st was a big time blast. In 1982, we went on a mission called Bright Star over in Cairo, Egypt, where I never would have been able to see the pyramids or the Sphinx, let alone touch them. I got to watch a kid for 50 cents, barefoot, scale a pyramid.
50 cents.
A guy gave him a 50-cent piece. And that little dude, I mean, full-blown run almost to the top of the pyramid.
How long do you think it took him?
Maybe 45 seconds.
What? Did you do that?
Not quite a minute. You know, he was up there.
Did you say, hold my beer, watch this?
That was one thing that was hard to find over in Egypt. They have rice beer over there. Bunch of camel spit everywhere. Camels are nasty. Egypt was cool because the camaraderie and the guys you have in your unit, you know, you're not in the country no more. You know, we basically went over there and taught the Egyptian soldiers how to take us out if need be. They learned all of our fighting techniques that we use, how we deploy, how we travel when we sneak around at night through the woods, and we taught them all that. I don't know where all that's going to leave us in the end, but after the 87, what happened with the 101st, David, is that there was a lapse in time with my service out there at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where I went and ended up over in Eureka, California, about 4 days past when my leave had ran out, and they considered me AWOL. So what I did is I turned myself in, and they put me through a retraining brigade, which is like 6 months more of basic training. And if you graduate from that, they give you an option to just go on and take a honorable discharge and get out, or you can extend. And I was doing good. I came in the front door. I wanted to go out the front door. So at that time, I was engaged to be married, too, and they gave me a pick of any post in the continental United States that I wanted to be stationed. My fiance was in Georgia. I picked Stewart, Gordon, and Benning.
Okay. Instead of...
I'm going to be in Georgia one way or the other.
I got you, yes.
Yeah. They sent me to Fort Ord, California.
Oh.
I got put in a Ready React unit, more deployment. We back when Noriega was doing his thing in Panama, I did get to go to the Jungle Operations Training Center and get a jungle expert badge that I am no longer. They took it they have a thing where they can erase stuff. You know, once you get an award, you get a badge, you wear it on your dress uniform, and then there's a general colonel or somebody, he didn't get to go to that class and he didn't get one, so nobody gets to wear it on their dress no more, you know, their dress uniform. But the Jungle Expert badge meant a lot to me. They just dumped us in Panama, and it was like 72 hours in the bush.
It was the beginning Survivor,
You know?
the Survivor show.
And that.
What
something
year
like
was that, Dickie?
when I went to Panama.
80?
Yeah, it was in the 80s. I went to Egypt first, and then after that was Panama. I went to Egypt with the 101st, and I didn't go to Panama until after I was transferred out to Port Ord.
What years were you enlisted then? From what year to what year?
My active duty enlistment ended in 1986. The rest of my 20 years was made up with National Guard, you know, like I said, riot control down at Virginia Beach, hurricane duty in Carolina. And I did kind of fluctuate back between the Virginia Army National Guard stationed in my hometown until they broke that up, and then that's when I transferred down to the Carolina Guard and got involved with the North Carolina Army National Guard. And at that time with the National Guard, I was also getting into industrial maintenance, where I was walking steel as an iron worker and doing boiler pipe fitting work and coming up in that trade so I could have something to do, because if you come out of the military as an infantry soldier, there's not a lot of jobs out there except for like security, police officer, you know, mercenary, yeah, stuff like that. You know, it's not a lot for infantry, and I didn't really grasp that at the time. But I got a whole lot of discipline in me. It doesn't show by climbing up on a fence, but there's a lot of discipline that runs around in me daily.
Sure.
I like to share it too.
All right, so we're going to say hey to some of our friends here on Facebook tuned in. I guess Richard Bostic was listening. Yeah. So
Legendary Richard Bostic.
yeah, I didn't see any
Hello,
comments,
Richard.
but I saw Jana comment.
Jana Trevison's here.
She said hey to him. Yeah, and let's see, Adam Lawrence is tuned in.
Adam, how you doing?
We saw him. Excuse me.
Got my guitar over here, Adam.
Over at Merlefest. I've had this cold for one month. I don't have the other thing though. By the way.
Hey,
All right.
Adam, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah. Hey, peeps. And let's see. Johnny Hodge tuned
Johnny
in.
Hodge, hey, Hodge man.
Yeah. He
I'm
said
assuming these people are on Facebook because I don't see them on
it
YouTube.
is. Yeah. Hambone Beer Man and the legendary fence climber. Thank you for your service.
Steve Baker.
Tucker Tim, and
Steve Baker's
That's your
on.
brother?
Danny
my
Martin.
Nana,
Mitchell.
Nana
Kit
Harrison.
Rodriguez.
She's the
Jim
one that told me I
McVeigh.
was going to be okay and not to be nervous and handle it. She's always telling me to handle it.
Yeah, well, we're on Facebook too, so I'm going to switch over to all on YouTube if y'all can jump over there. But I put the link in here so that y'all can see it. And Kelly P. Gant here in Statesville, Danny Lee, thanks
Kelly.
for tuning in, and Dave Ellis, JD and the Breeze band. He said he's grabbing his popcorn, and Greg Gould. Yeah, thank y'all for. And let's see, yeah, Tommy Foss. We mentioned Tommy too. He said he still had the video of me.
No,
Tommy.
hey,
Off
Tommy.
air, we did.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Yep. And Becky Courtney as well. All right. So Dickie Dennis here, the infamous fence climber, as we mentioned, and he's telling his story. And I wanted to ask you, whenever you went and saw Leonard Wood the other day up in Stewart, what'd you think about that?
That was too awesome, you know, because this guy, Richard Petty the King. But I walked into the shop, and this is cleanliness. And when we walked in, there's a big block running. As soon as you open the door, you just hear this rumble way, way in the back. And I was looking at all these classic race cars and all the memorabilia hanging on the wall, and got into the back of the shop. And there's Leonard Wood.
Yep.
And he's got this big block motor with this high-rise intake that goes up to a carburetor the size of a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
That he built with his hands, you know.
Yeah.
It's like double pumper Holly, like miniature. Incredible. And Leonard's got wonderful people skills. You know, some people you can walk up to and strike up a conversation with. And he was just like, you know, just anybody else, nothing special. You ask him a question, you know, he's a great dude. He's
just a good old boy. That's all he is, just a good old boy.
And Danny was like, my buddy Danny, he's like, you know, you don't mind if we take pictures in the shop, because he's got pieces and parts of several of these miniature carburetors sitting around. And he's like, no, cool. And there was that opportunity for Dickie not to keep his mouth shut. I said, well, Mr. Wood, can I have a picture with you? I felt like a little kid with royalty.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know? I had such a wonderful time in that place. It was just so much memorability. I recommend anybody that's anything into racing to go see that place.
You know, when I was still building engines over at Roush Yates up until 3 years ago or so, he was still coming in and building carburetors, actually till we switched over to fuel injection. He would still come in and build the carburetors.
He did. We stood over there by that big block motor. He called the size of the motor. I can't recall that, but there's a picture. Did you get the picture?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a really cool picture, man. That's gonna go. That's gonna be in my memory for a long time. Getting to meet Leonard, that's just gonna stick there for one of those fascinating things in life you'll never forget.
So it's been one of your best birthdays so far.
So far, I get hanging out with this crew right here, right?
Yeah.
Look.
That shop was in Stewart, Virginia, right?
Yes.
And that's not where they're racing out of now, or did they go back? I thought they were down here for a while, weren't they?
They were over in Harrisburg, off of 49.
But they're actually racing up there back in Stewart, Virginia again, the 21 car.
Are they building the car there, Dickie?
Maybe they're just doing engines.
Their shop's not up there anymore. Their shop's down here.
They're doing their stuff over at Penske's.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of like a walkthrough museum of the work and pictures of memorabilia. There's a lot of the old show cars in there. There are a couple of things in there that you would like to see if you hadn't seen yet. He's got 2 super horse-powered up riding lawnmowers in there.
Oh, no.
He was telling me about that, the
goodness.
remote control one.
Yeah, there's one that's remote control.
Yeah. Last time I saw him, he was proud of that lawnmower, and he was telling us about it in the break room there at Roush Yates. And we talked about getting a group of guys to go up there, but then I ended up.
He kind of sort of hinted around that I needed to step up my game, though. We had a little conversation, Mr. Wood, Leonard Wood, and I did, and we were talking about me on the fence, and he goes, "Nah, I don't remember nothing about nobody being on the fence in Richmond, but I did remember somebody being naked up on one at the Poconos."
Oh,
and just shot me right down. You know? I was like, I got to step my game up.
That was the one where Kyle and
Davey.
I haven't heard about that.
He ran across the track. Remember that, Phil?
And then Kyle claimed that when they closed in, the guy stopped for a moment and realized they were coming in closer, and his eyes got really big, and he shot across the track.
He was streaking.
Yeah.
I believe that's in the
back when that song came out.
Yeah, I believe it's in the same video on YouTube. It's got that video on YouTube has got you on it, but it's got him. I think you're right after him, if I'm not mistaken. Up on the fence. Anyway,
I don't remember
story.
that one being. I remember they started off with the guy that took off with the Talladega pace car. That's a lot bigger than what I climbed the fence. This guy stole the pace car.
Yeah, but they beat the crap out of him when they got him
Where did
out.
you think you were gonna go?
Yeah, further says the guy at the top of the fence. Where were you thinking you were going to go?
Oh yeah, exactly. All right, and first of all, second or third of all, I'm gonna throw out a disclaimer. We are not saying that you should ever do this.
None of this. Never do none of this.
Yeah.
What I did was and the first time I got on TV, the first thing I said about it is that I wanted to apologize for doing something so ignorant in front of a tender audience. There are lots of our children growing up nowadays that follows our lead, and that says enough about itself there. And you look what's going on with our country today, and the children that some people didn't raise quite the way that, in my opinion, they should have been raised.
Yeah, and it definitely was punishable or whatever you call it. You were punished for it.
Oh yeah, he paid the
got-
price for it.
I got plenty of punishment. There was a little over $7,000 worth of fines and court costs, and 45 days. At that time, I was going back and forth to the Veterans Administration mental clinic and receiving treatment and medications. So they, Henrico, put me in like not solitary confinement, but solitude. You know, I didn't interact with people except for, you know, when people brought me meals and they gave me, and they did not administer my medications the way they were supposed to, but I am not going to talk down on them. Richmond is my home track, but who was the last guy that, Austin Hill that was on here that said maybe we could get a petition started and maybe we could get the county of Henrico to see that I want to make better about what I did and apologize and let it be squashed, you know.
Okay, you can be
Let
a
me
car
go
owner.
back to my track, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're
allowed to
fine.
go there no more. I don't
did.
think that Richmond's going to last maybe 3, not 5 years. I don't think they're going to be there in 5 years.
Oh, sure it will.
Amazon's buying up that whole place over there.
Well, we got a suggestion from Jim Dooley. He says, Dickie, stick to the fence climbing, please. Don't go streaking.
That's
Steve
my
laughed
buddy
at that.
Jim.
Yeah. And Token Tim, he says, keep climbing and keep them clothes on, please, man.
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah. And Tim,
They have a pretty exclusive Toker Tim. They can I mention another website?
yeah.
It's called It's Time for Tokes, right? And they market these really cool lots of apparel, not just T-shirts, but they do great work.
Okay.
And it's Time for Tokes, and it's not solely about token down or whatever. They do some beautiful work with shirts and whatnot.
Okay.
I appreciate you letting me say something about
Yeah.
that.
I was going to ask about, I know you mentioned your shirt earlier, but I have this computer blocking it. So if you want to show your shirt, you got that at Martinsville, it looks like, right?
Yes, I did.
You could stand up, actually, if you
Yes,
don't mind.
I did.
It's a Martinsville
Do
Speedway.
that.
I don't know, we're saying you need to
Can
get
you
one of
see
these,
that?
but I think Dickie's proud of
How
it.
many
the hot
hot dogs?
dog.
How many hot dogs can you eat at Martinsville?
How many did you eat?
I had one
One.
hot dog, and it was not
Yeah. What's the
a
Travis?
Martinsville hot dog.
No,
I had it
they're
at
not.
Martinsville.
Yeah.
A very, very good friend of mine had made this hot dog, and I said, well, I at least got to have a hot dog at Martinsville. And the beer man, Scott Treverson, just happened to have one right there on his grill as we met up. And
Yeah.
that was the one and only hot dog I had, and it was, Scott, I can't remember.
It was Nathan's.
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 How about it?
Oh, that's a good hot dog.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Those are the best. I mean, well, okay. Yeah.
I think throughout the weekend I had 2, 3. I probably went up to about 7.
I'm not going to put down on that
did
Martinsville
make
hot
a good
dog,
one.
but somebody enlightened me that it was a running joke.
Yeah.
It's not the same as it used to be.
Or
the
whatever,
Jesse,
but
the old
I'll
type.
throw a plug out there for one of the
No.
places I did eat at Martinsville was called the Chicken Coop. And this wonderful chicken tenders.
Now, it seems like there used to be a place called Chicken Coops in Charlotte, maybe.
Chicken
It was
Coop.
Prices.
It used to be
Chicken Coop.
prices,
yeah.
yeah.
Prices
The
Chicken Coop.
Chicken
yeah.
Coop.
Oh, yeah, that's good down there. Prices, yeah.
I got a cramp in the
closed.
back of my leg.
Yeah, they closed down
Finally
after
went out of business.
COVID thing, I think it was.
I thought first.
Random Epic Tim was saying I always wanted to go to the Bud Moore's garage, but it's closed now. See, that's the thing, man. Some of these places that are closing down, if somebody could just at least take a camera and go through there and put it on YouTube or something.
Danny's got a shop from
He's got the sinking chair.
Oh
just
yeah,
got-
it happens. Now you've seen people do that whenever they come in.
that was dope. Yeah.
Here, I'll mention this while you're readjusting.
Yeah.
Jim had said now we're looking at Willie Nelson or Dickie Dennis. Oh yeah, we need to get your picture with Willie over here. I think the only difference was that Willie was in the Air Force and Dickie was in the Army. Dickie, thank you for your service.
Well,
And so did
it was
Adam
an
Lawrence
honor.
said thank you.
I tell everybody that it was an honor, you know, and it'll do wonders if you got a little brat that don't want to behave himself. Send him to military school.
Sure.
I reckon that I will. I recommend anybody if the kid don't want to behave, send him to military school.
Dale Jr. went to military school.
Yeah, he did.
That was awesome, and you know what? Kelly quit school.
She went to the same military school.
Yeah, so she could go to military school.
The one
with
just
Dale
south
Jr.
of Martinsville. What's it called there?
Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge, that's right. Military Academy. Yep, that's where they both went. You're right,
That
Dan.
was a killer story to hear.
So, Danny, tell us about your background in racing. I mean, I know you set up inside the turn 4 there for years at Charlotte with your motorhome on the fence line, but give us a little background on you.
Besides your house.
So Danny come to the racetrack with knee pads on. So you were ready. I thought that was funny, man. I was
There
looking.
weren't knee pads.
I was looking for y'all, and I was looking for the.
Okay,
the
I don't
knee pads.
get it.
My transformer
Explain it.
braces.
Oh, the braces. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. It looked like you were ready for a pit crew, though. That's what the ones I used to wear. It looked just like that.
I've probably done more work than some of the pit crew members have.
Sure. Yeah.
That's why I had braces.
Well, I was telling Tracy about you a little bit. I said, Dickie came and we met him, and we already know Dickie. We've known him for a long time, but I said he brought this guy with him, and the guy was really smart. We had a good time talking to him, learning a little bit about you.
Well, who was you talking to?
I was just talking Listen, you do have a wit about you.
That's him, buddy. That's him.
Yes. So go for it.
I guess started NASCAR back when I was a kid. My uncle went to school with Richard Childress, and Sundays we'd go eat dinner with my grandmother, my uncle's mom, my dad's mom. And after dinner, we'd sit and listen to the race on the radio. And if there wasn't no race, we'd go down, my uncle would go down to Childress' shop down 109. That was my start from NASCAR. The connection with Childress got us a space in the infield at Charlotte in what they called the Winston Cup Corral at that time. Last time we were there, it was still called Winston Cup Corral, even though Winston was no longer a sponsor. Mm-hmm. But we started there in 74, I believe it was, and finally let the space go in 2004. So we had about 30 years in the infield there.
30?
30 years. I had friends of mine that I met when I was 10, 11 years old, and they've passed away. And one guy in particular, I met his son afterwards, and that's, it was like a family.
Fans are like that. Yeah. When you meet like this weekend, we met neighbors that are across the campway, and we traded numbers, and we're going to stay. Chesterfield neighbors. They're from Chesterfield, Virginia. It was a Chesterfield kind of weekend of Virginia.
Chesterfield.
And there was those one group of guys that were friends that Manishi ended up knowing them, right? The ones who were you were over there getting.
We played with Presley, right?
Yep. Yeah. And that guy, I forgot how many races he said he'd been to.
Oh,
300,
from Michigan,
80 or something.
Yep.
Michigan races ever since. Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing. They take their nice motor coach and go to the races. So, yeah. So then what? I mean, you how many races have you been to?
I've lost count.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember a race years ago, I was probably 8, 9 years old. We was camping in the infield of Darlington, actually. Mm-hmm. You can't do that anymore.
No, I remember that.
Yeah, the adults, of course, they were up at night drinking alcoholic beverages out of glass bottles, and you threw the glass bottles into the fire. And we were all in bed, of course, earlier than the adults were. And about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, felt like somebody hit the camper. What had happened, it started raining that night, and instead of tilting the awning to one side so the awning would drain off, they left it straight, and it puddled up. One side of the awning fell down. The water went into the fire with all the hot bottles, and it sounded like a car wreck and shook the camper like crazy, about knocked us out of the bunk. And
Wow.
But that, it was one of my first adventures at NASCAR. We didn't get to see a race, but.
How about that? That's a good story, though. You got a good story out of it. It's worth that, right?
That's right.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. We got Dickie Dennison here from the infamous fence climber from 2014, if you're just now tuning in. And I'm going to switch over on the Facebook. All of y'all jump over to my YouTube channel, DHammiam. If you're listening on the radio and you'd like to join us on YouTube, go to DHammiam and go on there and ask questions or comments. And if you do have a question, pop it up here with a big Q in front of it. So when we come back from break, we'll jump right on those. Be right back for Racing Roots with Hamm.
Up in the morning and out to school.
WAME.
And we're back to Racing Roots with Hamm right here on 550 AM, 92.9 FM, and DHammiam on YouTube. And we've got Dickie Dennis, the infamous fence climber from 2014 in Richmond, telling his racing stories, as well as Danny. What's Danny's last name?
Martin.
Martin, okay. Danny Martin. And so they went to Richmond. I'm sorry, they went to Martinsville this past weekend with us yesterday. We just got back today.
David got back this morning.
goodness.
That's why his face is still burly.
I am, yeah. She said I was going to shave, but I just hadn't
Told him
found
I
the
was
reason.
shaving him ASAP.
Listen, it's just now No Shave November. Why would I go and shave?
No shave November.
No.
That's right.
Cold weather, too.
It's
You know what happens when
yeah.
no shave November?
Is that just for guys? No shave.
oh yeah, that's right. Somebody else made that comment
Yeah,
before
there
too.
you go. There you go.
So Manisha made a good point. She says it's not a great race weekend if you don't leave with new friends. But yeah, we made some good new friends. I mean, I say good new friends, but just, we all love, I think racing fans, NASCAR fans are the most genuine, nicest people that I've ever been around. So that's like my comfort zone to be around
Because we're all drunk.
race fans.
Jake
Used to be.
McVie. Jake McVie.
Yeah, Jake McVie.
He said never been to a race where no one left after the race.
Well,
Someone did
we're
ask,
camping.
what's special about the Martinsville hot dogs?
They're red.
They're pink.
They used to be red, dyed all the way
dyed.
through, and you would notice that the next day or so.
There you go.
No, you're not dying.
You had. Oh, okay. You think you're dying. Okay, I got it.
Now they make them if you want it all the way. It's with chili and onions and slaw.
No mustard.
I don't think they put mustard on all the ways. But I always order it with just a little bit of chili, but they're not hot like they used to be. I only had
So
3 on
that's so
Saturdays, and
special
I'm
is the
paying for
red.
it still.
Put sauerkraut on a hot dog.
Sauerkraut.
And they were Jesse Jones brand.
Yeah, they're not.
That's right.
They were
Jesse Jones.
They say they brought them back, but I don't know.
They weren't as pink as they were.
I'm not quite the hot dog aficionado, so.
That's why we give them.
I didn't see a concession stand selling any.
Oh yeah.
I didn't either.
In my defense, I did not see anyone selling a hot
Well, right there in turn 3, there was one at the top of the hill, wasn't there?
Yep, and then down right on the pits where the infield area is. I know.
And in the grandstand,
I guess where the
under the grandstand too.
I had
It's
3
the hot
and
dog
4
stand.
wrapped up. I had 3 and 4 wrapped up this weekend. Danny and I, we had so many deputies surrounded.
Yep, on
I don't
purpose.
know if somebody let them know that,
Why do you get so nervous when deputies come around?
They're surrounding
fence
us.
was close.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
very, very
Yeah.
close, and it would have been so simple at Martinsville. Let me tell you, David, every 2 foot, there's a 7/8 cable.
Yes, every 2 foot.
Might be 3/4 cable, I think, but and they're very taut, and they have turnbuckles that you tighten to pull the cable to strengthen the
Resistance.
The tension.
I guess the fencing itself, the chain link fencing, so that if an engine comes out of the car, it's supposed to help.
Right. Yeah. Because we've
But
seen that.
That 2 foot gap in those turnbuckles are perfect ladder rungs for.
There you go. It was meant to be, kind of like, right?
I believe that things happen for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we've seen that.
I got an idea.
Yeah, go for it.
I got a really good idea. I think Dickie needs to open up his own fence company up there in Northern Virginia. Dickie Dennis Fence Company, the original
Have
fence
you seen
climber.
the fence?
That's a great
Dude,
idea.
that's a great
Catch
marketing. I'd be your marketing man all day long.
Have you seen the catch fence at Bristol?
Oh yeah.
It's chicken wire.
Yeah.
There is no way if a car comes apart, that engine, any pieces apart, anything that flies, it's not going to stop it.
Okay. We saw that somewhere. I think Talladega, maybe the engine was sitting up on the stands there. It's sitting right on the walkway in front of the stands.
Well, that was Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
Not to get away from the fence, but back to
Daytona. Okay.
back to Leonard Wood for a second.
Yes.
Somebody told me just today that the Wood brothers are into tractor pulls.
Okay.
Have you heard about it?
I have not heard about that.
I've
Is that
been
what
to a
they're?
tractor pull. Back in
Tractor
Charlotte.
pulls that's some fun times.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, that's tough stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, you got to have a lot of horsepower, and it's got to last. You can't break a crankshaft. Crankshaft's got a lot of stress on it. And those engines.
It's what, 300 feet? 300 feet, the race is over, and we're getting another one hooked up.
Yeah, for sure.
The one in Charlotte was Shuffletown.
Yeah, okay.
That's where I went to.
What's the one I see?
Yeah.
I think it was Mineral, Virginia. There's, I believe it's Mineral. They have
tractor pulls.
Tractor pulls up there.
All right. So the Wood brothers are doing that now. You didn't ask Leonard about that?
That's what I heard.
Mr.
No,
Leonard?
I just heard that today.
Oh, okay.
Danny's mom shared that with me today.
I bet that little carburetor wasn't going on a tractor pull engine because they need a lot of air, and they're going to turn the
Some of them
RPMs.
tractors got 4 motors on them, David.
Might have went out on one of his RC cars.
Yeah.
He's got some pretty cool RC cars, too.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
He and Jack Roush used to compete.
Have you been in there, Phil?
Yeah, years ago, though.
The slot car track in the front when you first go in, that big slot car track, it's got 6 lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to play with that.
He like, in the 90s, he was crazy about that stuff. He and Jack Roush used to make up big old, unbelievably fast slot cars. Yeah.
Those are fun, too. Any kind of racing, right? Just about.
That's right.
And we all right. Back to with the fence that Scott was talking about. I had another idea with that. You do driftwood, so you could do driftwood that people could hang on their fence. A little driftwood ornament, fence ornaments.
My front yard's already.
I mean, and market it as
driftwood decorating.
A fence climbing
my
ornament.
chain link fence in my front yard.
Okay.
There is people come over and they see it, and a lot of people have seen the driftwood creations that I do. I kayak a lot for me time, and a piece of wood will more or less jump up and down on the beach and pick me.
Yeah, pick me,
just
right?
out of the blue. And
Well,
I'll go home and I'll look at it and get it cleaned up and clear coated, and then I start looking at flowers that I have I have on hand and drill holes and make these floral arrangements. And a lot of people seem to like the work I'm doing, and I'm proud of that because I don't know how I got into it. I want to say that, but it's not true either.
Little peyote, maybe?
No, my kayaking, my kayaking buddy, Rick Keffer, he's also a veteran, and his wife is my VSO, veteran service officer. Rick's mom was helping move my buddy Rick's sister down from Connecticut to Florida, and they had a driftwood Christmas tree that someone had built, and they could not take it with them. It had to be left behind. And Sandy, Rick's mom, she contacted me and asked me if I could build something like that, and she sent me a picture of what Noemi had, and I just threw some stuff together, and she absolutely loved it. You know,
Jim Dooley says he's got his in his kitchen. He said it's beautiful.
Jim Dooley, yeah, he's got a really nice one that I did of the one I did for Jim Dooley was the crucifix amongst a bunch of cactus with the red sash draped across it, and it turned out really nice. Some of them I don't like, and I have this other collection going on with river stones, and the wife and I now have a really nice burn pit. So when I don't like a piece of my driftwood,
I bet somebody would
don't
like
a letter from NASCAR right in the. So Dickie, how can people get a hold of you if they want to buy one of these things? I mean, we can get a hold of a Hunter Biden painting for $500,000. You should be able to get $50,000 for one of your wood pieces, at least at the Henrico County Jail.
Scott was showing me some stuff. I'm not avoiding the question of how to get a hold of me, but Scott was showing me some pieces that I'm kind of interested in right now. They're lamps.
Oh yeah.
But you know, kind of everybody is making everything. Some people are carving animals out of driftwood. I can't see that. A lot of people they can look up at the clouds and they see animal in the clouds. Some people do that with driftwood. They see animals in there. And, you know, peyote buttons again. I don't know what it was.
Right,
People can see things, but I look at it and I study it for a while, and I'll get up and then play some classic country music and get my day going, and I'll go look at it again. And if nothing hits me,
artistic impression, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I
the
never looked at
artist.
me that way.
Yeah.
I never looked at me that way, but right now I have 50 pieces on hand. I have a kayaking group that is IAC, and it's 4 letters. All right, it's the straight line of the punctuation marks, a space, YAK.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I post in there the pieces I have finished. Most of the time on my timeline is where I share what I have built, and that's Dickie Dennis on Facebook. And it's the one with the frozen tree frog. There's several Dickie Dennis.
No.
Yeah.
Facebook won't leave you alone. If you tell the truth, you're gone. They will kick you off quick.
Yep.
Tell the truth, you're gone.
Yeah.
I've been saying since I've met you, and you need a Dickie Dennis hero card, and that's what you need to do. You set up Dickie Dennis hero card.
Yeah.
You know, you just have autographs like we did our boy Presley Barker this past
Those are
weekend
cool.
up there. And we want to give out a shout out to Amy Queen Chapin, who did the artwork for Presley and all them, and we had a great time at Saturday and Sunday up there. I also want to give a big shout out to Manisha. Thank you so much, Manisha. Without your help, we would have never got any of this accomplished.
It's fun.
And
It's
then
fun
also the folks up there was Don and Tom and Gary, and those folks, Average Joe up there. They were going to watch tonight, you know. So we made a lot of friends, and like he said, Kyle Petty got to come by and see us and hang out with us. And I'm gonna tell you something. It's my turn to give a plug out to little Presley Barker and his brother Lou.
Yeah, they were great.
They're awesome
Saturday,
kids.
they put on a nice little show out
yeah.
there. That kid's got talent, man.
Yes.
Didn't know me for the world and gave me the most wonderful greeting.
Isn't he something?
Presley and Luke are the
Yeah.
two cool young
Yeah,
men, man.
yeah.
And he's going to go far. I told him, I said, you have so much ambition. You have so much excitement in you. Do not lose that.
That's right. He's really growing. And then also this weekend we got to take care of little Sterling Marlin. Big Sterling came and texted me, and actually I saw him. If you saw it on the Facebook, probably I got to see little Big Sterling last
Hang
Sunday
out with him at his house. You
and
did.
give a shout out.
Sterling's grandson, right?
Yeah, no, Big Sterling I saw last Sunday in Columbia, Tennessee. You got to
Little
hang out.
Sterling was at the track Saturday.
Little Sterling was at the track Sunday, and I took care of little Sterling.
There you go.
And he got to meet up with Presley, and they're both 17. And maybe next year we think that Mr. Presley will go over to Nashville, and then we get little Sterling and Presley hooked up. That could be some good times there, you know. But I want to give out a good shout out to my buddy Sterling Marlin. Had a great time seeing him last week, man, and had a couple of cold beers, and we got to talk about a lot of good memories and stuff. And he's writing a book, and it's really neat, you know. And we're trying to get some memories down and talk to some folks, and maybe do a reunion sometime next year, you know. And hopefully we're going to get Sterling on the show here. Probably the next week or two. I think David's going to try to do a Zoom call with them and do some stuff. But it was really good. And then to see little Sterling, I mean, we remember little Sterling growing up when Sterling was hanging out with us, you know, back when we were driving the Coors car. And he was just a little kid, but now he's a racer now, right? So I guess they say the racing skips a generation or so. And Stedman,
he has that look like his granddaddy, that little whippersnapper. He was sitting there chewing his gum. I says, "Tell me something. Do you drive as fast as you chew that gum?" He was a joy, though. He was a really nice young kid.
He had a lot of contacts. A lot of people at college racing and everything, you know. And he just wanted to get down, and I kept saying, you know, dude, remember one thing, and you back me on this: out of sight, out of mind, man.
Yep.
So
You
whatever
gotta be
do,
there.
Keep your
Yep.
face in the crowd,
Yep.
and even if you don't know them, smile at them. Yeah, we got to see Shane Meal. Shane Meal was at the track on Sunday.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and AJ Allmendinger's wife, we got to see Mrs. North Carolina. We got her picture taken. We told her about the show. So we're trying to
she
get her
knew
on the
about it. I
show.
gave her a sticker Saturday. She told me that after the season's over, because she's the reigning Mrs. North Carolina, she will be going to Vegas next week to compete for Mrs. USA.
Wow.
So you can go on her Facebook page, Tara Allmendinger, and you can vote for her. And,
Yes.
they're going to try to come out here probably sometime in December for
Very nice.
Who was the guy when we got off the elevator said he watches the show? Remember that? Because I had my shirt on and he said,
Wait,
he's
what?
like, "Ham, I listen to your
Elevator?
show."
You had an
we went
elevator where you were?
Top the upper deck.
We had the elevator.
we had
This guy,
that's why Danny had the devices. Yeah, we
Not that
didn't
I was
see no
rubbing it in.
elevators.
Yeah, well, that's why I sent you that picture of the buffet.
Yeah,
you sent
you had
me
the
yours in the
buffet
bag.
too, right?
I wasn't rubbing it in. I was just saying we got some pretty good food
And
up
while
here.
we're making mentions, we got to definitely thank Jersey Cape Yachts.
Yes.
Yes, Phil.
Yeah.
Great
Jersey
ivory
Cape
cap.
Yachts. I'm wearing their shirt tonight.
Yeah,
So,
Phil's-
tradition, ding-a-ling-a-ling. We need a
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Sterling
We need
Marlin
a
story from
cowbell
you, beer
story.
man.
No. We want to hear if Dickie's got a Sterling Marlin story.
Sterling Marlin story.
You ever
Come on,
met
all
him?
these years.
Somebody shared one with me. I don't know if we can share it here. It's about how a cigarette burn hole got in a cushion in a camper or something, but I don't know if I should say any more than that. That's Sterling Marlin's story, though. You know,
Why don't you tell a story from you visiting with Sterling?
Yeah, Scott.
Danny, you got one? All the years camping?
Danny got
Scott,
Sterling.
you were just there
Come on,
this
Danny.
week.
Danny?
I plead the fifth.
Come on, Danny.
Plead the
Sterling's probably watching.
I'll
All them
plead the
years?
fifth.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And so you want one for me?
Yeah, something you guys
I
talked
heard
about
you got
this
some
past
new
week.
ones, by the way. I follow you a little bit on Facebook. I see you got some new
let me tell you
stories.
something. It warmed my heart to just
Well,
hang
a lot
with him for a
of
couple
people
hours,
don't
you know.
realize he has Parkinson's.
he has Parkinson's,
So
so
that's-
he does.
But he's
you know,
still just as
Yeah.
Sterling 100%, I
still
guess.
Sterling.
Yeah.
Still like we was just talking here. I get choked up about it, but it was like we had a
Sure.
great time, you know.
Yeah.
First thing he says, "Hey man, you ready to go cold beer?" I'm like, "You got that right." Like, come on, you know. And he had the cans, and I drink the pints now. You know, that's how we drink them on sea tunes down there on the boat. And I said, "This is how we drink them down in Florida, Sterling, the big boys," you know. And
Yeah.
so we had some good times, and he was really proud to show me his property and stuff, you know. And we got in the truck, and he's still Sterling. I mean, he wheels that big old, I don't know, I think it was a dually or a 350 flatbed, man. We went cruising around. He showed me all his properties, his houses, and just a neat little area of Tennessee. Because you don't feel like you're in Tennessee there. It's like, I always feel like I'm almost in Sonoma. It got those nice rolling hills, and it's just beautiful country, isn't it, honey? Yeah, man. He's got a lot of cattle he takes care of, you know, and then so we got to go spend some time with him, and we really talked about a lot of memories and trying to give him some ideas, you know, for his book and everything. And
Is he trying to push Little Sterling hard, or what's
I
he,
think
you
so.
know?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think Little Sterling is going to move here. He's going to live on somebody's couch. It's going to be the typical NASCAR story where Little Sterling's going to land working for a team here, and you know, get a chance to drive and show his talent and show his skills, and you know, we might see a new star coming out there at Columbia, Tennessee.
You know what? The sport needs that.
It really does.
It
Yes,
really,
yes.
I mean, we had a chance there for Robbie Allison for a little while.
Yep.
He fell away and went back to Nashville and is living there, married, and so the sport could use somebody of a heritage name, you know. And
The youngins behind, you know, Braxton and Cash and, you know,
Well,
the kids doing the go-karts right now.
yeah, I know, but along with that comes the literal cash. You know,
Yes.
you're gonna. I mean, with all due respect, Kyle Busch can afford to put his kid in any car he wants to, but if you're taking legacy drivers from the old days with the names, that's like I spoke to Jeffrey Earnhardt right before the race Saturday, and we're just talking about how tough it is just to keep a ride. He's driving for Johnny Davis.
Wow.
You know, and I even had mentioned to him that with all due respect, if his granddaddy was around, he'd be driving in a top-notch car. He would be winning races because, you know.
I talked with Jimmy Beans on Friday.
Yeah.
We were sitting there hanging out, and me and Nana went for a walk. Nana had my dog had a great time. If you looked at my Facebook page, we had all time. But
Nana's a sweetheart.
Yeah. So Jimmy, I said, Jimmy, it's all about, you know, your Joey Gase, and I think he had Spencer. No.
Boyd,
was that who else he had today?
I think so.
Yeah. And those drivers are going out and getting the sponsorship money and
they are.
and bringing them to
Joey Gase is amazing.
Yeah,
he really
you got to
is.
market yourself nowadays.
Spencer's
and,
really good at
and
that.
so that's good. And
he's a
of
degree.
course, he talked a little bit. He wanted to say hello to Sterling and everything, and so it was good. It's good. We had a great time. The best thing that I did this weekend. Wait, hold on, Beer Man. What'd you do? What was the best thing you did all weekend? Let me tell you about the best thing I did all weekend. It was Wednesday night. $25, and you take your own vehicle around the track.
Oh my God, what a great time. I did it twice. It was so much fun. It's all for charity.
Yeah.
And they said 55 mile an hour, and really you couldn't get up really past 55, 60 on the straightaway because you had to back her back down. Yeah, it was really fun. And even Nana went for a ride. And I told the guard gate, Tim Flock and Jocko Flacco would be real proud of the beer man and Nana out there wheeling it.
When you came off the backstretch and went into 3, did you look below you and you saw the 48 there, huh?
I did. You know what? And there definitely wasn't 3 lanes there below.
Well, I'll tell you, Jocko Flacco would have had his own Instagram.
Yeah, Jocko Flacco. Jocko Flacco was a monkey that Tim Flock used to have.
Well, that's what I was telling you. Nana needed to have her own Instagram.
Yeah, I hear you. But all in all, and I only want to thank Presley, his mom and dad, and especially Luke, coming out, and they just had the time of their life. And definitely my wife, Jana, taking care of them and taking them, and Manisha, taking them, putting them up on top of the pit boxes. Those kids had probably their first race they've ever saw down in the pits, and it was just an amazing weekend all around. The weather turned out to be beautiful yesterday.
It's beautiful.
And the stands were full. It was a good race and a memorable race for sure. And
absolutely,
we're going to find out.
We're
going to find out what NASCAR has to say tomorrow morning. When they actually have the coffee and figure out what they're going to do. They're going to probably say, "Now, don't do that again."
Well, we do have somebody commenting. Our good man, one of our followers here. We hope he's driving safe. He's out in the middle of Earl, Arkansas. Scott Feldhausen. He's on the way to Phoenix.
Here he is.
Yep, I'll see you out there this weekend, Scott. I'll be out there Thursday.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Safe travel, Scott.
Yep. That's a long way.
So Jim Dooley's he's saying he has one of your driftwoods. Dickie, are you monitoring the questions and such?
I just scrolled through there, and there's a lot of comments towards me.
Yeah.
And I will answer all of these.
Okay, you need to do some. Danny Lee says you need to do some. Let's go, Brandon driftwood. That's one of the things we heard.
Yeah, there you go, Dickie.
We heard that a lot after the race too.
There's a whole
walking down on
there.
It was beyond what I thought was going to probably happen, especially on the exit coming out of the grandstands.
Whew. First of all, you don't say it real calmly like,
oh, no.
It's "Let's go, Brandon."
Were they really chanting it?
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Like that.
Like as the flood, the tide comes out of the grandstands as we were coming down, as you're walking, and it was just so packed. It was just everybody. What else are you going to do?
There was a lot.
We love Denny, right? No, not saying that.
No.
They're not that. So, but it was really neat to see that many people. It was almost like the old race.
Don't cry, Denny. Don't cry, Denny.
Or no, what is it? But you're a hack.
So what happens with Denny? Didn't he drop an F-bomb on TV?
Oh, he flipped a bird. He was.
Either way, he was out of
caught.
control. I thought I heard him drop it.
There's a picture circulating.
I think they should
over.
reduce him 25 points and let the other guy who was below come up. He knocked him to
what was
fifth.
up with Kyle Busch?
Now somebody else said the S word after the race.
Kyle got into trouble for using a word that describes mentally challenged people.
Yeah.
Yes, there was something like that. Yeah, and that's
rebar.
That
rebar.
Was
Yeah,
a lot.
Close to that. Real close to that.
All right. So what's next for Dickie Dennis?
I'm
bigger fences.
I'm retired.
What's your next race?
My next race.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna make me go out on a limb and spoil a surprise.
Oh,
he's gonna go, beer man. Where's your next race? I'm coming.
We can wait.
I'm actually planning.
Yeah.
I'm actually planning to attend a race because I've never cared for a road course, but I have a really good friend. He just had a birthday a couple of days ago. Big shout out to Bill Downing. He got me into a racing group directly after I was freed from jail after the fence climbing incident and stuff. And it's a shout out to them too, man. NASCAR Untamed. It's an exclusive group, and we used to all get together and travel and go to a few short tracks right here. Not so everybody had to travel way long distance and stuff. And he's been down a few times and hung out with us, so I'm going to make it a point next year to get up to Watkins Glen.
Okay, yeah.
I think there's only one race.
Phil, did you hear that? The Glen.
There's only
Dickie
one
Dennis.
race this year.
Yeah, I was going to suggest
I'm
that.
letting the track know right now.
See how you are?
Yeah. There's only one, I believe so.
Glen.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. That's my home track, Dickie.
Yeah.
You can come camp out with us, dude. We got a group that gets together. My friend Ricky and his wife
I gotta bring
Eileen.
Bill because they've invited me to come
Bill.
over. And Bill Downing is the reason I'm
You
going to
just
do
bring a
Watkins
tent, man,
Glen.
and we'll get you squared away.
Right on, right on.
And make sure you go to McHale's down in Corning. I'm sorry, that's my plug for my favorite place in Corning.
Yeah. They used to have
Tell
a
them the
chicken
beer man
coop.
sent you.
They used to have like one of those chicken coop places right in Watkins Glen, and then it went away 2 years ago. They took it out.
Hey, we need to get Jersey Cape Yachts up there on Lake Seneca with one of their yachts. That'd be a great, and do the show from up there.
So Jersey Cape Yacht has 31 to 66 foot custom yachts. You can go out there, bring one down to Lake Norman, but you just give them, check them out on their let's see, they have a Facebook page and Jersey Cape Yachts and Instagram,
I think their phone
Twitter,
number is 619-685.
and Janine at jerseycapeyachts.com.
Jersey
Cape
Yachts rules. Big shout out to WAME.
WAME Radio.
Yes.
Home of the Billy Buck
Yes.
Morning Show.
Big shout out to Billy Buck, too. Hope he's watching. Hello, Billy.
I would love to. I would have loved to thought that Billy would have been in it tonight. I wanted to meet Billy for real. While I was here, I wanted to meet Billy.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in here on our YouTube page as well. DHammiam, I am, that is. And Token Tim says that's a fence you need to climb. I guess he's talking about. I think you're retired from the fence climbing thing, so you don't want the tracks calling.
Yeah, I'm
they're
gonna get
listening
bigger
now.
and better
you know.
things. There's water towers. There's cell phone towers.
Yeah.
There's clock tower buildings. There's one right here I'm sitting in.
The big ancient Hopewell.
There's a big structure in Hopewell that when you come into Hopewell, it looks like scaffolding, but it's supposed to be an H.
Okay.
You know, for Hopewell.
Yeah.
Or
in my video, it looked like I was. I had you turn around. You were looking up. Yeah, I know you're looking for your seats, but it looks like you're looking for something to climb. Because that's like, what can I climb?
So before we go, I want to go back maybe a month or two ago when the beer man was up here last. We all picked the final four.
That's what I was just going to talk about. You kept our. Here we go.
It's what is it? The 5, 9, 11, and 18 or 19.
I missed two.
I guess the 5, 9, 11, and 20.
Wow.
Beer man guessed the 5, 12, 18, and 19. And David guessed the 5, 11, 12, and 2. So I was off by one.
He kept track.
I had picked two fours.
He did.
I sent him the sticky note. He left it sitting right there.
We were really pulling for Ryan Blaney up there, man. My buddy Luke, man, he was all decked out with Ryan Blaney's helmet.
I just wanted Truax out. I was hoping that Kyle Busch would take out the winner if he had to get Truax out of there. I would have rather seen Kyle.
I missed the whole Kyle Busch wreck. I'm waiting.
Which one?
Him and Alex Bowman. Last lap.
I know. I thought he would have dove in there and just did what he had to do.
I got my camera right up against the fence. You know, I'm right up against the fence at this time, right? And it's
temptation.
It was right. I'm right there, and I'm waiting for him to come out of turn 2, and here comes Alex by himself. Where did Kyle go?
Oh, yeah.
And now the race is over, and Alex won, and I'm like, wait, I got robbed. What happened?
Well, Kyle
I
got
didn't get to
spun
see
by
Kyle.
the 2 car on the slope. After they took the checkers, Kyle went in to turns 1 and 2, and the 2 was under him, and Kyle cut down almost like he wanted to. It almost seemed like he did it on purpose to have the 2 spin him.
Well, there was contact between Kyle Busch and Keselowski. You know, Keselowski was just giving it to him. I mean, look, that's what Martinsville's for. That's what we all paid the money for, right? To watch him.
Yeah.
We didn't want to watch no boring ending of a race, right?
Denny said it's just short track racing.
It's short track racing.
I went up there to watch my hero, Dawson Cram, in the 41 truck.
41,
he was running. I looked at him before the race, and I said, "Where do you think you're going to finish?" He goes, "I don't have any idea at all." He weighs like 102 pounds soaking wet. A lot of talent in that kid, though. It's a family-owned deal there. So I told him, look, I'm expecting 15th, but 14th is going to make me happy. Nothing less than 14th. He's up there running 16th near the end of the race. And I told his mom, I said, go over the radio and remind him that 16th is not 14th. The next thing I know, the 51 truck, I don't know who this kid was, took him out, went right down the front stretch and just tried to cut between 2 and give him no room, put Dawson right in the wall.
Oh, man.
That's all right, Dawson Cram. He's got that Bee Water sponsorship. It's just great. Bee Water.
What's going to happen in
Marion,
Phoenix?
North Carolina.
What's going to happen
Dawson
in Phoenix?
Cram's going to win the truck race.
At Phoenix.
Yeah. And then they're going to put him in an Xfinity car, and he's going to win the Xfinity race. And then Denny Hamlin's going to have a sty in his eye, and Dawson's going to say, no, I won't drive the 11.
You're gonna go see that.
I better be quiet.
All right.
You're gonna go see
Tell us
the
how you really
noodling
feel,
cup.
Phil.
All right, Steve Baker says Brad should have had it and Blaney. Yes, I agree. And Random Epic Tim says I think Larson's got it next week. Oh yeah, most likely. I mean, it looks like that way. So Young Money, Jake McVie says, and Jim Dooley says, "Hey Ham, that was a great video of Dickie looking up at the fence. It looked like it was going to climb up. Had us all wondering. That was kind of the idea. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And yeah, just kind of." I was thinking I've got a lot more video too because we were going. Me and Scott were walking around, and then Scott was picking out points. He's like, "Here, go stand over there and take video." So pretty much went all the way around the whole, turn 1, 2, 3, and then we went up into the elevator.
No, that's not what I said. I said, David,
2, 3,
stand
4.
right here until somebody kicks us out.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're filming.
Yeah.
And so I let him back off, and
I'm
then
always
he does
looking.
his stuff, and then
Yeah.
here comes security guard, how they're coming up to it. I'm like, come on, let's go, let's keep moving, And of course, how loud it is, you really can't hear a whole lot. And
Both of you guys remember Kellen Robinson?
Yeah. Was he there yesterday?
He was there yesterday. We
missed him.
Martinsville is set up so that if you go from 3 and 4 to 1 and 2, you have to go outside the track and walk around and re-enter and get re-swiped and scanned and all of that stuff. Not scanned like the virus or whatever.
Yeah, right. You have to get. Yeah, we did that. We had twice.
It's
One
incredible
did.
because Richmond's got the walkway. You can walk all the way around the whole track. I honestly think Martinsville ought to look into that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then I think they used to be able to, because there were seats on the backstretch. Remember, they used to save 10,000 seats, and they would sell them the race day. That was Martinsville.
Yeah,
on the backstretch.
On the backstretch. But
On
now
the
they're all
backstretch,
they were just a cement.
Yeah.
They were just a cement.
Cement. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, Martinsville backstretch was grass field.
Oh well, yes.
Back in the day.
Sure.
And the bathrooms were in 3 and 4.
Dave, you're showing your age there.
Danny, yeah.
That was before the modern steam train, right?
Steve Baker says if you go on Google Maps, you can see all the way around a lot of the tracks on the computer. So okay,
Yeah.
I'll try that.
So we're writing the check for Young Money, and that's it. We're not going to be watching the race.
No,
on
Young
Sunday?
Money all the way.
Young Money all the way.
Yeah. I've been saying that since the
number 5?
beginning of the year.
Where you at?
I'm not going to say the
Come on,
5.
this is-
I'm not going to say the 5, and I'm not going to say the 5.
Then you got 3 other ones to pick, Danny.
I'm not going to go with the FedEx card. That's for real.
Let Danny. Okay.
No.
I remember.
Who's that leave?
I remember
You
Martinsville.
take Elliott. Who you taking, Danny?
Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson. He's on the 5 train.
I'm gonna go with Larson since all my forwards are out. So
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? Not
kinda
one
like
Ford.
to see-
Penske had 3 guys that could have made it, and not one of them made
When
it.
the nine spun out, and he got a piece of the wall too. That was pretty exciting also.
So nobody.
Most of the wrecks happened down there at that end of the track where I was.
Yeah, they were. 3 and 4.
It was like they were magnetic.
Nay,
and
Toyota.
Coming, they just
No.
went to me.
Deal with the doubles.
It'll be a Chevy.
Going to be either the 2
that's a
Chevys
good
or the
question.
2 Toyotas, and
Well,
you're going to say it's going to be a Chevy.
It's going to be Kyle Larson.
Tracy, what do you think?
I have no clue.
Okay.
Jan, who do you got?
I'll go with 2 Kyles.
What?
2 Kyles.
Kyle's
What was up with the 0-0?
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch isn't in it.
Kyle Busch is out.
Yeah, he should have taken out
It
the
was a
48.
long weekend, wasn't it?
The 19's in it. I don't like.
You
that.
got the 2 cars, the 11 and the 19. Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex from the Gibbs.
All right.
camp.
Well, there you have it.
I would like to see Truex Jr. do it too.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any closure.
No.
Kyle
No,
Larson
he's-
and Chase Elliott.
What was up with the 0-0 car? The buckshot. Who's seen that? The
Buckshot Jones?
The 0-0 car. The 0-0 car this weekend.
All right.
What about him?
Quinn Huff.
Quinn
yeah.
Huff.
Yeah, he took out somebody.
Yeah, he
There
huffed
was a
and puffed.
battle.
and-
There was a battle going on there for about 5 or 8, 10, 12 laps.
Battle for 25th.
Yeah, they was battling. They was beating up cars.
That's what Barnes was all about. I was told you get that car, and Sterling, he probably tell you, you in that corner, man, it doesn't take much. If you was hanging out the passenger of one of those windows, you could just push the guy right out. That doesn't take much for them to spin them out like that. Right,
No, yeah, they're on the edge.
especially when the tires are all heated up like that.
It's, people don't realize until you've been there how flat that track is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
and before the race, which was really cool,
tire pressures are so low.
Right.
You know, you could take off, you could see the sidewalls almost
Wrinkle,
wrinkling. And
yep.
then it ain't but what, maybe 25, 30 laps into it, all the brake rotors are just glowing red.
Yeah.
And because of the night racing,
That's
on
what it
Saturday,
was.
it was really cool, man. to see
Tim
the
just said
brake
he
rotors
got
glowing.
All right.
he got penalized for that.
Yeah, he got.
He did. Yeah,
Yeah,
5 laps.
Tim just said that in, in the comments.
Yeah. NASCAR
David, real
looked really
quick,
down on that.
real quick, let me
Yeah,
say.
go ahead, Dickie. All right, finish it out, Dickie.
Let me say that I really appreciate the time to do
Dale
this,
Earnhardt?
and people get to hear my side of the story.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this time. All you guys, Tracy, Scott, Phil, this one over here. We had a great time the other night. That was fun. Yeah. I heard you stayed up late too after we left.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you stayed on up.
Yeah, I went to the campsite across the way, and then they went to sleep, and then I went to the other one where the fire was still going.
This is my last night down here. I'm going.
I should have
I'm going
came back.
home in the morning. I'm going back home in the morning, Phil. I'm going back home in the morning. So this is my last night out here. If we all want to act like we're still at the track, it's cool with me.
There you go.
No, I got to get up at 3:30.
Well, thank you so much for coming out, Dickie Dennis.
Absolutely.
And thanks everybody for tuning in on YouTube. And happy birthday. And that's all right. And also hit that thumbs up if you like the show, and tell your friends about it, and share. Sharing is caring and all that kind of stuff. If you didn't like it, hit it twice.
Yeah, hit it twice if you didn't like it.
Yeah, that's it. You say, what you gonna say something?
I'm taking the 9.
The 9 car. Okay, that's probably a fair one.
I'm taking
That's
Chase
denial.
Was it the?
Denial.
I want it to be a Ford. But
All right, you might want to. Scott Feldhausen's Martin Truex Jr. Manisha says.
Forget that, Scott Feldhausen. No, we won't be having a beer
5,
together.
I think. All right. Anyway, we might hear the bells. What is it? The bell chime at the Dawsonville.
Oh, don't
Whatever.
say that. The horn.
No, we don't. We're not doing it right now.
No more?
No, we'll start doing it next week. And all right, so I'm gonna get with Sterling this week and see about doing a little test. That's why I didn't get to it this weekend, because I was gonna come in and do it this weekend. Of course, I was in Martinsville, so we didn't get to do that. But sometime this week, I'm gonna do a little test, and maybe next Monday. I know I mentioned it last Monday, but I'm gonna shoot for next Monday. So that gives me a
keep on you.
whole week to prepare to get it done. And so, yes, I'll make it happen this week. I just, I've been a little under the weather, and then I was getting ready for Martinsville. And so I survived the weekend.
You did good.
My goodness. After all that.
He hung in there.
Yeah. And barely, I made it through tonight too. So with these cough drops, only went through 3. But thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next Monday on Racing Roots with Hamm.
And thanks, Presley.
Have a great night, everybody.
Presley, good job, buddy. Thank you for everything.
Real Country 550 and 92.9 WAME and W225BD Statesville.
Here comes the man, Ryan Scott at Randy Marriott.